Alright, you guys, so welcome back to my channel. I know it looks a little bit dark in here, but I'm filming super early in the morning because I do have work in a little bit, so that's why it's kind of dark in here. But regardless, I want to go ahead and review the Fenty Beauty powder against the Make It Forever powder because you guys know I live, breathe, sleep this powder. I love it so much. When the Fenty one came out, at first I didn't want to try it out, but then when I did, I was a little bit shocked. So I want to compare the two side by side and see which one lasts a little bit longer. So if you're interested, make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and let's jump right into the video. All right, so before we do start, I do want to tell you guys the two shades I have. The first one is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation. I have it in the shade 420, which was a good match on my skin, I will say. And the Matte Velvet Skin and Make It Forever, I have the shade Y505. Now with this powder, it is a little bit lighter because I use it to set my liquid foundation, so it may not look the exact same as the Fenty powder, if that makes sense, because this one matches me perfectly for my skin tone. This one is a little bit lighter because I use it to set my liquid foundation, but regardless, it's still going to turn out really well. So what I'm going to do now actually is use my Cover FX Power Play foundation. You guys know I spot correct with this foundation because it matches me perfectly. So I'm just going to apply it in the area that I do have like dark marks and hyperpigmentation. So I'm taking my Morphe M173 brush, and all I'm doing is going in the areas that I do have dark marks. I don't take this all over the face because we are applying the powders as an actual foundation, so I don't want to do too much, and I just blend it into my skin. Okay, so I'm pretty sure y'all can see how my skin looks like by just covering up the dark marks. And I didn't apply any foundation or anything on this side because this side has no issues. This side just gives me problems, okay? So this is what my face looks like right now. What I'm actually going to do is apply a little bit of concealer underneath the eyes because of my dark circles. And because we're doing like that no makeup look, I'm not going to apply too much product because I just don't feel like you need it. Just applying a little bit. And I'm going to take my brush, let's use this one, and then just blend it in to the eyes. And then I'm going to set the under eyes using my Huda Beauty Kunafa powder just because I don't want it to crease as we apply the powder foundation. All right, so it's time to get into the powders, and I do want to point out before we do start, if you want to use either powder as a set-in powder for your liquid foundation, either one would do a great job, just keeping it honest. But as an actual powder foundation is what I'm testing out for you guys today, just by themselves, nothing else as well. Now to make everything a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is on the right side, which is you guys left, I'm going to use my Make It Forever powder in the shade Y505. And then on the left side, which you guys right, I believe, is a Fenty Beauty powder in the shade 420. That way y'all can tell which side is which. Now taking my e.l.f. Buffing Foundation brush, which I used last time and I really liked, I'm going to use my Make It Forever powder, and we're just going to start off by buffing this into the skin. And I haven't used this by itself before, so this is the first time for that. And I'm going to come up close so y'all can see what it looks like on the skin. But so far, I don't know, for some reason I thought it would be super light because that's what I thought it was when I first bought it, but it looks like it matches my skin perfectly. I love that. And right off the back, I can tell it's giving my face like that flawless, smooth look, which is why I love this powder because it really does make your skin look flawless, you guys. And it has a nice amount of coverage as well, but it doesn't look cakey on the skin. Like, tell me this match isn't perfect, y'all. Like, wow, love this. So let's apply some on the forehead because that's where I can really tell if the powder is good. I just go ahead and apply up here. Y'all, this shade, y'all, this is, okay, all right. So I keep telling you guys in all my videos that Fenty needs to come out with 425 because 420 to me in the foundation is a little bit light, but in the powder foundation, it's a little bit dark for my skin. This one has a perfect undertone of yellow and like, brown in it. I don't even know how to describe my colors right now, but it just has a perfect amount of colors, if that makes sense. It's not too red, it's not too yellow, it's just in between, and it looks very nice on the skin. Love this powder. If anything, the word I was looking for was neutral, is what this powder gives me, because it doesn't pull any way. It's just very, very neutral. So I think I applied enough foundation on the skin so y'all can see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna look in my viewfinder just to see what y'all are seeing. But y'all can't even tell me where the foundation starts and stops. Like, it just fits me perfectly. The coverage is beautiful. It doesn't look cakey on the skin. I love this powder. Y'all already know how I feel about it, but this is what it looks like, you guys. I love it so far by itself. Now, moving on to the Fenty Beauty powder. I'm gonna grab a different brush. Actually, I'm gonna use my Real Techniques brush, and I don't have the name on here because it rubbed off, but I believe it's like their buff-in foundation brush or their blush brush. I can't remember, but it's really good to buff in your foundation. So let's take this out and compare the two. So in case y'all haven't seen it, this is the packaging. It's really pretty. And then it also comes with a sponge as well in the insert. And then this is the actual powder by itself. Super, super pretty. So I'm going to pull my hair back just to get it out the way. But with this, I don't know, you guys, like, so far to me, I love the Makeup Forever side because it just blended into my skin really nicely. So let's go in with the Fenty powder as well and just start buffing it in. So right off the back, I will say the Fenty powder is a little bit darker, but to me at the same time, that's not a bad thing, because if you do want to conceal and highlight and all that good stuff, this tone will be perfect because your foundation does get lighter once you highlight and conceal. So keep that in mind. But regardless, you guys, it's still looking really nice on the skin. Y'all know with this powder, it has like this filter effect on the skin, which I was really impressed with. I wasn't expecting that, but it's blurring everything on my skin, and I really do like this shade as well. Like, I know I keep saying it's a little bit darker, but at the same time, I think it's beautiful on the skin. So let me come up a little bit closer so y'all can see what my face looks like side by side. I will say both sides, to me, you guys look really beautiful. They both look blurred out, smooth, flawless. I'll give it that. If you're asking me which side and which color I prefer a little bit more, I will say I prefer the Makeup Forever color just because it is my perfect tone. And if I'm rushing and I want to be out the door, I will grab this powder first just because I don't have to work with it. But regardless, you guys, I still love both sides. So what I'm going to do right now is apply a little bit of blush because I kind of look flat, and thank God I don't actually have to like leave my house to go to work. I work from home because I'll be looking a little bit crazy. So I'm using my e.l.f. Always Spicy blush, which you guys know I use all the time, just to add some color to the cheeks. So it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning right now. So I'm going to come back in about 6 hours, which should be 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, like 2 p.m. and show you guys how the foundation is holding up and my final thoughts as well. But so far, everything's looking really good. So I have nothing bad to say for now. But yeah, I'm really excited because y'all, like, these two powders, when it comes to powders out there, I'm very picky. A lot of them don't, really impressed me, and I will say these two right now are probably the best powders in the foundation game. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple hours. All right, you guys, so I'm back and it's currently 4 p.m. right now. So it's been about 8 hours since I've had the powders on my face, you guys. So what I'm gonna do is grab my mirror so I can see up close what my skin looks like and get a good view for you guys. But y'all can tell right off the back, okay, I'm a little bit dewy, I'm a little bit oily, okay, but it's not terrible at all. So I will say, for me personally, I feel like both sides are very similar. I feel like the Fenty one is breaking down just a little bit more than the Makeup Forever powder. on my skin, but it's not by much, you guys. Like, they both look really good still on my skin. They're not breaking down or anything like terribly, but around my nose, because that's where I get super oily, you guys, it is kind of breaking down more on this side. But y'all can see up close what my skin looks like. It still looks really good in my opinion. I feel like both sides kind of did oxidize a little bit because it did get darker. But at the same time, it is not too bad. I feel like either powder you do get, you're gonna love it because they both are full coverage powders. They both look beautiful on the skin. They kind of do oxidize a bit, but it's not terrible. And at the same time, you know, it's just a great powder that gives coverage to the skin, which is what I'm looking for all the time because I do have a little bit of dark marks on my face. So I always love powders that do have a little bit more coverage than your everyday lightwear powder, if that makes sense. But what I'm gonna do now actually is grab my brush and kind of just set my face a little bit because I'm looking a little bit greasy. I'm gonna use my Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Powder because this one is translucent and it's a great touch-up powder. So now that I set my face, I'm gonna come a little bit closer so y'all can see what the skin is looking like. But after I set the face, I will say both sides, y'all, is looking pretty flawless, okay? I know it's looking like a little bit of a grease ball, but right now, once my face is set, I think it looks flawless. So that's why I keep saying it doesn't matter which powder you pick up because they're both really, really good. The only difference is the Makeup Forever one is like more so of that perfect shade I'm looking for, whereas with this one, it's a little bit red right off the back. But I do think I need to try shade 410. That may be it. I feel like 410 would be the perfect shade that I'm looking for. So if you do have it, let me know down below. But my final thoughts, honestly, you guys, I don't know. I'm going to use both. I love them both. They're both full coverage. They last a long time on the skin. It completely blurs your skin and it looks absolutely flawless. So either way you go, you're going to be happy with either powder. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. But I love you guys so much. Make sure you go ahead and like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one.